Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Itze, and this time it's China RCP, the long-awaited match of this round of 16. And the highlight, of course, table 1, where Q, aka Self-Evident, encounters someone you know. I'll cover this duel. Then we'll also have a Secret Star versus Tarkanov 28. Those two met in the Champions League, and it was a peculiar duel because Secret Star won the second game by time, although Tarkanov was ahead on the board and had only one piece to place, and as far as I remember, it was only due to some technical hiccup, maybe a lost connection. He lost because he had, I think, 3 or 4 minutes on the clock and would have only needed to place the tiles somewhere to win the game and the duel. So it's time for revenge, I guess. On table 3, slightly favored Balala Ferry versus Do Not Waste My Time. Same, although 71st is a master, so it's more or less a toss-up, even if the current ELO rating would suggest otherwise. On table 5, though, I definitely favor Mitao Cat versus Ulster Mary. Overall, I'd say anything between a 5-0 and a 0-5 is possible today. I'd say 3-2 in China's favor is the likeliest outcome, but only by a very, very slim margin. So let's check if they have already started, and at least some have. The duel I'll cover hasn't started yet, but we'll see about that in a few seconds, I guess. Here we go. And we even will witness the first move. And something is off here because all the colors are wrong. So after a quick reload, we should have China playing yellow on all tables and RCP playing blue here. Typical early farmer by someone you know. Q taking cities, quite likely will use a farmer over here or there once they at the crossroad. This field will only grow. Maybe preparing a block here, like this. So Vladimir's case, preventing this by limiting this square. So no road could be placed from the bottom, might have been an option, but then you'd create a juicy 7-point monastery spot, which your opponent is more likely to use, and therefore he just goes for the obstruction creation move. You drawing a lot of roads here in the early beginnings, and it's definitely not pieces he'd like. This time though, preventing the limitation to straight over here might work in their favor. The fourth straight, maybe just going for the obstruction on the right side without the farmer, because this here isn't a rather easy block. But blue missed at least on their 2 tries so far. Really would like to get a simple Dorito without a shield, of course, to kill yellow's city. Do you go here to prevent this? This here? I think this would have merited a longer thought, but 1 dagger is already gone, so this here would then limit 2 of yellow's pieces. And yellow prefers to take the 4 points instead of preventing the block on the right side like this, because they will know that even if this will be killed, it'll be a juicy ruin. Could reach even double-digit points in the end, so it's definitely worth investing this meeple. Vladimir doesn't even block, just goes for the bigger city / ruin. And yellow prevents blue's double meeple attack, now limits blue's meeple to the 2 remaining right-handed daggers there. Could have even left this empty just to prevent a shenanigans like blue is hoping for now. Just taking the monastery spot, but it's their last meeple. Blue getting the perfect piece on the left side, liberating their city. And yellow is a bit antsy here. I think you could have waited for a better piece. For example, a curve like this to limit this square to exactly 1 piece. Vladimir, I think, would go over here or even there to attack the farm from the top side again. He likes to overfarm sometimes, especially if it's a juicy one, and this one is at 15 points already. Yellow course prevents any problems here. Any city piece from the bottom would have limited their monastery to the last right-handed dagger. And they had a second meeple in hand, so of course they took the monastery as well. Over here, farmer would have been nice, and considering any curve, which there are 6 remaining, and any road end 6 as well in the deck, would have been nice, because the problem is exactly moves like this from Vladimir. And now it's getting tricky for yellow. They need to invest 2 meeples to equalize the farm in the end. They have a slight scoreboard lead, and their features on the board are worth a tad more than blues. But considering the field should still grow, just trying to win fieldless here might not work. No, they go for the total kill on the right side. Maybe also hoping to create a huge ruin to meeple later. Blue can't defend. And just extends the city on the top left now. Yellow kills this square, of course. So blue's meeple here is dead. They takes the city for sure. Now the quite decisive meeple advantage here due to blue's killed meeple and the 3 farmers. No, they won't go fieldless. They have 2 farmers already, so a third one should be incoming sometime. Maybe they should have used this one here with the dagger even. Although you'd need 2 curves, there were still 6 in the deck. Now there are 5 because blue just got one. But of course, this attacking option will be available later on as well, unless someone were to place a piece over there. If need be, this here would work as well, although there's only 1 dagger remaining. Any city piece over here would limit this to exactly 1 piece. With both sorts of monasteries and vanilla still in the deck, this straight here could work out quite nicely for yellow. They might even use this option to add a farmer, unless blue were to use it now, which I guess someone you know is thinking about. So there's this option. This here is maybe a ninja like this, because all 4 Crossroads are gone. So still enough options to attack the field again. And Vladimir definitely needs to win this one if he'd like to win this game. Because right now, features on the board highly favor yellow here, and these two monasteries alone for almost as much as the 18-point field. So overall, blue has a 2-point lead right now, but they need to win the field here. Yep, and he goes for it, and I think he doesn't take the option to attack the field. That's interesting. Maybe it's the fear of losing even if you'd win the field. Yellow takes it now. And does blue take the better option? Because there are still 3 curves in the deck. They don't. But could use this one with, for example, straight, although there aren't any straights left, so another road piece like a starting tile would work, of course. And Q now thinks whether they need to protect this square. And considering there's only 1 dagger remaining, no straights, no regular crossroads, field crossroads that is, but the 2 starting tiles, I think going over here would work quite nicely. As for one, you'd take this attacking option away from blue, and if you'd connect, you'd get 4 extra points as well. And of course, there's always the road monastery, so no matter what happens to this square, they'll have at least a 50-50 here. And now they could even guarantee themselves the 75% out there by just adding the horse here. Meanwhile, on table 2, 203 club 1 versus 71st, and this actually reminds me that there's a second match running concurrently, which is Japan-Thailand, and I think I haven't configured the scoreboard. Let me change that quickly. Here we go. So yellow reserved their spot at the bottom and blue attacks on the top left, hoping to draw one of the two remaining curves. Finally, yellow gets one after blue got a 4 out of 6. And now this square up top only has one chance to connect to the main field. But even that might not help blue here in this game. This one is a +1 for blue, +2, -6, minus these 14, -20, -23, -24. So even the main field with 6 cities as of now wouldn't win them the game. And sure, yellow threatens more cities. And there are still loads of city cap in the deck. Only problem for yellow now is they don't have a meeple to take advantage of their created connection chances here. So the road monastery or the starting tiles wouldn't score them any additional points. Blue quite wisely takes these two. So if yellow were to close this here and connect to the main field, blue still would have chances to take this city on the left. Blue just takes 2 points. Blue connects, secures the main field with the 4th farmer. Yellow now will liberate one of their city meeples. I think they should take this one, even if it scores less points. So 5 minus the 3 blue scores for the field versus 3 over here. But then they have the meeple in hand, and this one at the bottom is way easier to liberate because it can't be obstructed like the one up top. So, for example, the Dorito here would have been a total kill because there are no Doritos or big tiles or splitters in the deck. So right now, table 3 just ended and Balala Ferry lost versus Do Not Waste My Time. On table 5, RCP also took the win. So right now it's 1-2 in this match. And in the other match, Pyro lost on their first game versus Gun 007. And here the question is, how, as blue, would you like to score a lot of points with only a few moves remaining? And I guess there's just no way. Yellow just runs away with the scoreboard lead. even gets the road monastery scoring another 9 points. Sure, their third farmer here doesn't win them the main field or doesn't let them tie the main field, but they really couldn't care less. The win is all they need here. So great job by Q. Sure, monasteries helped, but overall, seeing that in the end winning without the main field would work out was definitely key in this game. So let's see if Vladimir will be able to win the second one. Meanwhile, Secret Star lost their first game versus Tarakanov. So overall, it's 3-2 in RCP's favor after the first 5 games. Then that opening move by Blue here. And also standard move by Yellow. Just trying to win a mini battle if they don't manage to close the city even. Spotting the small city closure on the left, although that's of course tricky. 2 caps and Blue runs away with a nice city, but now likely just this here. Yeah, but Blue gets a perfect cap, doesn't meeple the road, because then you could be limited on this square and 2 of your meeples might get lost with only a few moves. Yellow likely going over here, taking the cap at the bottom. And Blue might now indirectly protect their city. This one I don't really like because this opens the door for obstructions like this. Even if you'd still have a 75%er there. Not that great actually. But it worked out for Blue in this case. And he gets a nice 12-pointer to get on the scoreboard. Yeah, looks like Gurtstar and Tarkanov are taking a break. And now they have started their second game as well. So all 5 are running. This time Blue goes for the kill of Yellow's meeple. Still having chances here to liberate the road meeple. A tricky decision now. Do you close this one? But then expose yourself to a block here and being stuck with 4 points for this road? Or do you just take 2 points, for example, here? And he goes for the road closure, hoping to draw something over here with 2 roses gone. Of course, there are still the horses. And in some circumstances he might use the Rotorito there, I guess, at least. Now, sure, the attack on the left side. Taking a monastery on the left, has another nice monastery spot. Might just add the curve here. Maybe the other way around. Depending on what they'd go for. Aren't that many road pieces gone. So like this would create this square for straights or curves, but right now that's of course problematic as you'd create an attacking spot. So yellow opts to create options against blue's road. For example, like this, and then a big city piece over here would kill this square. Now, even if it's a -1 point move, getting the meeple back might be the priority here. I think blue overvalues this field. Already adds a second farmer, and up top it's pretty limited. On the bottom right as well, although a curve here could open this up. Yeah, but if yellow closes their cities there, might actually be worth the investment. And who am I to criticize blue's farming play? They usually know what they are doing, but sometimes, as in the last game, for example, it doesn't work out for them. On the other hand, if they hadn't gone here with a farmer, it would have been an easy attack for yellow. On table 4, 2 of 3 club was able to dispatch a 71st with 2-0 and put China on the match scoreboard with 1-0. So I've got a free slot here. Let's fill it with Pyro versus Gun 007. Because this one seems to be the fastest duel from Japan versus Thailand. Blue had to attack yellow's city, still 4 Doritos remaining, but 2 splitters as well. And yellow drew a nice city cap to close their city, which was under attack from blue. Only one right-handed dagger remaining, so it was quite easy for blue to limit this one, but they just didn't get a piece to do so. With this rotary to yellow also created an evil hamster. Quite likely they are the only party who would use this one, unless they'd have a lot of meeples in hand. I guess in that case blue wouldn't think twice about taking the 8 points. And now blue's hopes of killing or at least attacking yellow city turned against them. Their city got killed and their meeple is dead. And again, with 2 farmers and a dead meeple, they'll have the long-term meeple minority in this game. But for now, they at least own 15-point field and a 6-point field. Of course, if it'll stay that way, yellow will try to connect these fields to at least deduct the 6 points from the smaller one. Yeah, and I guess blue could even use this one now. Yellow has quite a lot of meeples in hand. Only problem of going here is you'd open up a nice attacking option against your field, but even if yellow were to take it, you might be able to counter it here. And he just goes for the most points available right now, and I think that's a correct move. Yellow. This road here is a problem for yellow, because if closed with 2 curves, or in the matter of this square here, curvies, blue would score 10 points. Not sure leaving this empty is the best idea. There are still 2 crossroads in the deck, only 2 on the board. And if yellow would get one, taking these 6 versus 5 points would have worked well for them. But blue gets a curvy, snatches another field with potential. 1 city closed, but 3 potential ones remaining. Now that yellow has separated blue's fields, they can happily attack the main one. Meanwhile, Mitao Cat was able to win their second game versus Ulster Mary and force a decider. Yellow protects their city. There's no dagger available for the square. No left-handed dagger, that is. So any curvy from the left side would have killed this. But there are still 2 vanillas and no vertical divider remaining. This ruined by yellow scores 10 points, so 3 more than this combo on the left side for blue, but still definitely not enough to outscore blue's scoreboard lead. So yellow has to close their city and quite likely try to attack this field or win the main field. There would be this option with the last remaining crossroad and rotorito. And there might be an option here. There's still one monastery left. Meanwhile, blue scores double for 2 cities. So 2 10-pointers effectively here. So overall, yellow has 10, 16, 19 versus 7, so 12 points. 11, 5 yellow, plus 1 blue, plus the scoreboard lead, so 13 blue, 20. And it doesn't look great for yellow here. They might even need to attack this field now. Still 2 curves left. And 1 field Dorito plus 2 vanillas. So chances to connect here are looking great. And this monastery I don't really need to care about. That they go for this attack, which is rather easily blocked here because there's no road monastery left, but still 2 starting tiles to immediately kill this one and then even attack the field again. And the same goes for the last remaining road Dorito, which blue would use to attack the field, and quite likely would. Because if blue manages to add another farmer to this 15-point field, it's definitely game over. On table 4, in the match between Japan and Thailand, Pyro was able to force a decider. And I should have opened the third game between Mitao Cat and Ulster Mary a while ago. Here we go. Yeah, still a tight, more or less tight game. There will be a nice field once someone gets a rotorito. I guess blue is the only one using it there. So the decider between Pyro and Gun 007 is in the top right corner. Yellow was able to protect their attack on the left side. And blue, meanwhile, created an attacking square against yellow's ruin. Now still the 1 road Dorito and 1 field Dorito remaining. No big city tiles though. And now that I think about this here, yellow should go there, of course, because they'd kill this field as they'd unite blue's fields. And this might exactly be why they didn't attack on the right side, because in that case, the yellow farmer over here wouldn't be of any use against these two once yellow would close their city. And in that case, even blue might use a vanilla there. Of course, yellow could also kill this square. But there is no need of doing that. All pieces that would fit over here with a complete deck are already gone. But now that blue just got the monastery and sometimes I'm really blind. So yellow could of course connect here, but they opted to use the piece there, which scores less than going here. But they still had the monastery and the other vanilla. And for sure, they would have liked to get their hands on the monastery. So right now, yellow has 10, 14, 20, minus 12, so 8 points, and then 4, these 15 for blue, so plus 11 blue, plus 18 blue. The Q definitely needs to connect here. And then score a lot of points with penultimate move, which is now, at least he got the only remaining city cap that would fit here. But there is really no way here to score a lot of points. I only see 3. This one you can't take. And then with the last piece, you need to get the vanilla, but even then, yellow will lose this game by a few points. Last remaining pieces are the vanilla and a rotorito. So blue quite likely will score 4 points, although let's check the rotoritos. No, both shielded ones are gone. So going over here for 4 points doesn't work. And this way, they could now take just 1 point and take the 3 points on their last move, or vice versa. I guess this one is the best as you'd create this here. So nice find by blue. In the end, it's not 4, it's 5 points, maximizing the score. But overall, I think it doesn't matter if they'd win with 5, 6, or 7 points in the end. And it's 4. Okay. Yeah, this one I didn't think about. So we'll get a decider here, and that's definitely great news. Meanwhile, there are 2 deciders in the match between Japan and Thailand running. And on the other 3 tables, the Japanese players are ahead. our protagonist from China RCP seemed to take a small break. But of course, we wait for them. And they still haven't started their third game. Well, then let's take a look on the bottom left for now. Oh, they are already scoring. Let's just refresh. So do not waste my time. Was able to win 2-0 versus Balala Ferry to equalize the scoreboard, the match scoreboard that is, at 1. So these two are taking their time. Well, then let's check out the end game between Secret Star and Tarkanov for now. And I should open another game in the bottom left. Let's pick the other decider from Japan versus Thailand. Over here, it looks like the field is the last chance for blue here. 12 points scoreboard lead for yellow, another 8 here, so 20. These monasteries are equal. 28 yellow. This one scores 6, so 34, 32, 26, 23. And for now it's, oh, there is a road meeple. 23, 18. And for now it's blue's field, which is worth exactly the 18 points. This square is dead. Blue adds 3 points. So they should be at +3 right now. And yellow takes 6, so +3 yellow, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's +3 yellow, so Secret Star able to force a decider here. So let's get back to Q versus someone you know. And then let me actually switch the tables. So Tau Cat Ulster Mary on the left side and the bottom corner. And Nanataku LZ Taki on the right side. So left side it's China RCP, right side Japan versus Thailand. Over here, features more or less equal, except for Yellow's monastery. And the cities which by adding the straight here, yellow threatens to kill this square. Example by adding a road Dorito here. And blue will place, or might not. They could place the splitter there and then attack the city. They could have also liberated their city and then tried to block this square here. But I guess they didn't like the risk of yellow just drawing a cap and then multiple Doritos here to run away. The 14, 16 point city something. Meanwhile, the decider between Secret Star and Tarkanov is also running. So 5 deciders all running concurrently. And there might even be more in the game, in the match between Japan versus Thailand. Let's quickly refresh. Nope, there aren't. So Y Guru Y was able to beat Pakshi and Should did the same versus Pimika. So Japan secured the quarterfinal spot, and Team Japan will meet either China or RCP, which will be, of course, another banger. Yellow defended in their monastery here, which was under threat of being blocked. Same goes for this square. Or any road piece. Blue might stick there to limit this square to the 2 remaining daggers. One is here on the board, meepled by blue. Yellow tried to limit Blue's road, but notably didn't place a farmer. And with still 7 crossroads in the deck, it was highly likely blue would get one. And if they'd get one, of course they'd place a farmer. So I think not adding a farmer here was a miss by yellow. But considering it's their last meeple, they might not have a chance. On table 5, Ulster Mary was able to win the decider, so it's 2-1 RCP right now. Which means Q and a Secret Star have to win their games, to win their duels, and push China into the quarterfinals. So chances for RCP are looking good here. They only need to win one of the deciders still remaining. Only question is whether they know and if this even changes anything about their play here. at least one duel win for Thailand. RCP was able to beat Nanataku. Pyrogun, of course, still running in the top right corner. Meanwhile, blue limited this square. There is only one dagger remaining. 2 are already on the board. So he doesn't even mind taking these points here, which is iffy to say the least. Sure, you score 5 immediate points and prevent your opponent from doing so, but there are only 2 road Doritos remaining. And then you had 4, yellow had 1 point, so that's -3 plus the 1 added point to yellow's monastery. It's -4, so it's a net 0 points move. And there's still a chance of yellow defending here. This square needs the other dagger. There are still 2 remaining. And yellow up top just adds another 2 points to their side of the field, which only makes a lot of sense if they'd get all the remaining cows, or were able to add a 3rd city meeple sometime. Will be interesting to see, yeah, because I think this situation could be the decisive one. Yellow needs to get a 2nd meeple in hand. Blue opts to score these 4 points. They could have gone for another attack here and limit yellow's monastery to the last remaining starting tile on top of the last remaining right-handed dagger. But they don't really care about that. They just take these 4 points and not just 4, it's +7. That's actually the problem for yellow. This farmer outscores the monastery by now. Blue has 10 points on the scoreboard, which are equalized more or less by the city configuration up top, which is right now 11 versus 3 in yellow's favor. But these +8 points aren't enough. They need to score more. And then there are still the 3 cows in the deck, which would equalize the city up top and tilt this game in blue's favor completely. And yellow just doesn't get any straight here. They desperately need the second meeple. And to score points, of course, but these 2 pointers just don't cut it. Especially not if blue snatches the higher scoring options. At least they get to kill this. But it doesn't really help them. And then there are even little killing pieces here left in the deck. For example, the last remaining field crossroad would kill this configuration, because even if you were to get the dagger here, you'd need another crossroad there. And if blue would add a curve here, the square would be killed well. So it's looking quite gruesome for yellow. They desperately try to create scoring options, but blue kills it, of course. Yeah, yellow fighting for their life, but I don't see any other way than getting this one here. Great. And if it's late in the game, quite likely even farm there immediately. No. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. So now their only chance to liberate meeples is this one, or the city up top. Both aren't really that likely. So this here is nailing the last nail in your coffin. I'm not sure why they did go for this, honestly. Wasn't necessary to give up right there, right then. Just add it here, sure. Go for the farm. Hope to draw the 50-50 soon, and then you're back in the game. Yeah, it's unlikely you'd get the 3 up top, but unlikely equals 12.5%, and that might happen once in 8 games. So if you still have a chance, why not go for it? Yeah, I guess you have noticed, meanwhile, Gun 007 was able to win the decider versus Pyro. So after all, Japan wins 2-3 versus Thailand. Yep, and that's it then. Blue kills Monastery and city there. Yellow closes this city, adding 3 points to blue's field, but getting a meeple. Blue quite likely would take these 4 points just to prevent an attack here or a ninja one. There are no other attacking options right now except for this ninja option. I'm not really sure what he's thinking about right now, but that's Vladimir. He has still 5 minutes, and why not think about your moves? So let's test score. So 8 points, 6 points, 14 for yellow. That's interesting. I mean, attacks over here aren't really that likely. Especially this one here is pretty iffy because need the field Dorito and then the square would be easily blocked. But I'm not sure taking the 6 point, maybe 8 point, 9 point field right now was desperately needed, especially if there are still 2 other road ends available. Now he takes it. Only one city cap left, which was dagger here, which yellow had hoped for. And blue connects to yellow's field, so all these moves were wasted effort. And this is yellow conceding. Although I think the monastery might have been their last move making any impact this game. Definitely not a positive one. Here in the end, they did get the dagger. Oh, not sure when the straights were drawn, but they just didn't get one to go for this attack. So congratulations, Team RCP. And let's check out the last remaining game now, which is Secret Star versus Carcassonne. D8. I'd say looks like yellow is ahead. I might be wrong here. So blue has no 16 points on the scoreboard. Should put blue. Yeah, so 23, 25, 31. This farmer at the bottom is now knighted. So these 2 farmers by yellow and these blue farmers score for the same field. So I was at 31, 35, 33, 25, 18, 12, 10. Plus 10 blue, now plus 13. But the field is worth 21 points, so yellow just needs to win the field to at least grab a temporary lead of +8. But how to do that? Over here? Why not? Looks like there are still road pieces left. The crossroads are gone, but still one straight and 2 curves. So 3 pieces to go over here even. This square is dead. So no liberation of these meeples and no field attack this way. Blue could opt to go here and try to attack the field, but I think they don't even need to do this. Just scoring the 4 points might be enough in the end. Because even if yellow were to connect, it would only be a +4 yellow if my scoring was correct. So blue just needs to snatch this piece over here, and there is at least one extender remaining to do so. Their problem would be not getting this one, but there are other options. For example, creating a possible 5-point road up top. At least yellow gets the extender, and oh, I did miss that. Blue, of course, could just take these points here. Or the 4 points yellow just created. Not sure why. Would have placed the extender here and it would be dead. So I'm having blue at +2. Let's see if that's accurate. Yep, they win by +2. So overall, it's a 4-1 in RCP's favor, which sets up the quarterfinals versus Japan. Who after a rather mediocre preliminary round, RCP manages to dispatch one of the strongest teams of this tournament, China. So it looks like they found their top 5, or maybe at least their strengths back. I was a bit surprised by Ulster Mary starting today. I would have expected Mikhail, but we'll see which starting 5 they line up versus Japan. So later today we have 4 matches: Brazil, Colombia, Poland, France, Chile, Italy. And let's just check. Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I'll stream these 3, considering there aren't that many folks on this stream, but I'll decide that later on. So I guess have fun watching these, no matter on which channel. Thanks for tuning in.